Hello there, audience. I'm James Fate. That is Kyle Nilsson, and welcome back to the NFL Week 8 recap and Week 9 picks, along with other things we do here. This is the Gilsson and Nold podcast. Lots of
Welcome,
fun here.
people.
We do lots of fun here. This is podcast 18, which is weird to say.
But we made it. We made it to the Peyton number.
Peyton Manning. Nonetheless, let us get directly into the Week 8 recaps.
Woo.
Okay, starting with Thursday Night Football, it was the Ravens going to Tampa Bay, and the Ravens won 27-22.
And Ravens made history as Tom Brady, for the first time in his career, is 2 losses away from 500. Amazing.
That's enough. And something I do have to say here is Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense struggled the entire game to do anything, and part of the reason why they were successful is because the defense was so stagnant. They stopped. They were so stout. They stopped the Buccaneers from doing anything.
But to be fair, I think Buccaneers themselves are just struggling on offense. There just seems to be no connection there like the Packers.
And we'll definitely get into more of that reason later into this episode. Next up, we got Broncos.
No. This is supposed to be mentioned.
Oh yes, that's right.
Ravens, gosh, if Ravens were struggling with the ball, throwing wise, well, they had the running game taken care of because their lowest rated guy on running, Justice Hill, at 28 yards with 4 carries, was somehow higher than Buccaneers' highest rushing leader of the night, Leonard Fournette, with 24 yards with 9 carries. That just, Buccaneers doesn't have a run game. That's so easy to shut down.
And I think what helps with that is the fact that Tom Brady is so focused on throwing the ball and stat padding on his own that the Buccaneers almost don't really need a run game, right?
But the thing is, you can't rely on a 45-year-old Tom Brady who's going through marital issues at the current moment to lead your team.
He and Giselle have officially filed for divorce, so...
Yeah, bit of a rough time for the Brady boy.
Young Gravy, if you're out there, you know who to go after.
But yes, next, Broncos versus Jaguars in London. Broncos win 21-17. Two teams that are pathetic for different reasons. One that is just pathetic because they are. Another team that's pathetic because they could be so much more than what they are, but... oh boy.
All I have to say for this one is that Russell's high knees on the plane motivated the team to win. Not because of anything in particular that Russ did, but because they were so annoyed they wanted to get back at Russell for being annoying.
And another thing that's annoying is that Trevor Lawrence, yet again, fails a game-winning drive. Immediately throws a pick. That is... oof.
You love to see it, but you also hate to see it at the same time.
Yeah, just ask Jack Hater.
Okay, next game up is the Dolphins beating the Lions in comeback fashion, 31-27. If I'm correct, the halftime score, or at one point the score was 17-27, but the Lions defense does what it always does, and it blew it. So much so that the defensive backs coach has officially been fired.
I don't blame it at all. And actually, it was a 21-7 lead at one point. I don't know what happened to the Lions here, but they just imploded. But I feel like it was just more of Tua and the Dolphins getting that rhythm back, because soon that defense stepped up for the second half. The Lions didn't score any points in the second half at all. So I just think the Dolphins are just shaking off the rust the last few weeks. And what team to do it against than the Lions?
Oh, yeah. And as I said, Tua looked great, but his receivers looked better, in my opinion.
Oh, they did. Hill and Waddle, yet again. Just a crazy duo.
Okay, also, I love Dan Campbell, but he can't fucking scheme in the second half.
He doesn't adjust, and honestly, Dan has got to go after this season. If not, he's probably getting fired sometime in the next few weeks, unfortunately.
Shame. Oh, you expected this.
But
next up is a division rival for, I can't believe I'm saying this, first place in the NFC South between the Panthers and Falcons. The Falcons won in overtime of all things, 37-34.
And I give this game of the week, and it absolutely deserves it because, wow, this game got crazy intense in the fourth quarter onwards.
I do like that the Falcons are using Kyle Pitts more, but an issue that I have is the fact that the Panthers ruined PJ Walker's cool-ass moment.
No, not they. DJ Moore did.
And apparently DJ Moore didn't even. It was the ref ball, because apparently, by rule, in order, you cannot take your helmet off in the field of play. DJ Moore wasn't on the field. He took it off whenever he got to the white line.
See, I don't understand any of what went on there. You know, with the rules, the rest. I don't know. It felt like scripting in a way.
It really did, but why script the Falcons? Well, no, I mean, obviously script the Falcons to go 500 just so that they could eventually choke. But if you're going to do that, wouldn't you want to make them 3-8?
Don't you want to give it to the Panthers for chaos? I mean, come on.
Chaos! Well, I mean, Falcons getting first place is also chaos. Remember, we all expected them to go nowheres.
But now look at them. They're leading the damn division by being perfectly average.
Hey, all it takes to be average in the NFC South. You'll go far. Okay,
By the way,
moving on.
Young Koo, clutch.
Young Hui Koo, you mean?
Yeah, the legend.
Legend. Next up is the Cardinals versus Vikings. The Vikings won 34-26, and they almost blew another lead.
But thankfully, they're not gonna blow a lead against Kyler Murray, who just throws it to DeAndre Hopkins the whole damn time.
And, you know, the funny thing is, the Cardinals had 3 opportunities to tie the game in the fourth quarter, and on every single drive, they failed.
They did. And you know, but there's one thing that didn't fail here. Patrick Peterson's revenge game that went well. Patrick Peterson got his revenge against the Cardinals.
You know, and also, this is a credit to Patrick Peterson as well. He was on a lot of those highlights on defense. He was all over the place.
Oh, he was the reason why I think the Vikings won. He was stopping some of those passes. Oh, he was reading Kyler Murray's mind. He knows that mind.
Also, I love seeing Robbie Anderson not get any receptions, as far as I know.
I mean, you can see it right here, dude. Swatted away.
Brilliant. Yeah, but moving on to the next game, Cowboys beating the Bears 49-29, and while it was a second half blowout, it was actually pretty close until Justin Fields jumped over Micah Parsons instead of touching him down.
Yeah. Also, these uniforms, what a clash! Halloween spirit. Am I right? Gosh, blue, orange.
Yeah. But as in the Halloween spirit, it was a horror show for the Bears, and it was fun action for the Cowboys.
Especially Tony Pollard. I hate my grammar. Dude ran a marathon. 131 yards with 14 carries and 3 touchdowns. I only mention this because I have a feeling he's not going to be a player of the week, but his stats deserve some recognition, at least in the recap.
Oh, yeah. Also, and...
Oh, you're going to mention... Oh, I think you're going to mention what I was about to mention.
Well, I was going to mention is that Tony Pollard should leave Dallas. His contract is up at the end of this year. Leave them. Do not let them franchise tag you. You're going to be wasted.
Yeah, that's not what I was going to mention. Justin Fields completely missed a mark by tackling a guy. No, sorry, not tackling. Just by touching the Cowboys player, he could have marked him down, but he didn't, and that Cowboys player got a touchdown.
And also, the Cowboys player is Micah Parsons.
Yeah, boy.
Rough day for Justin Fields, but also at the same time...
That's every week.
Next up is the Raiders getting shut out by the New Orleans Saints. I'm telling you, Nilsson, this is where we turn it around. We're going to go Monday Night Football. We're going to beat the Ravens. We're going to turn it around. We're going to get back to 500 eventually. No, we're not. I have no idea how we won this game. Actually, I do know how we won this game, and it sort of shocks me how we actually got it. Our defense for once was actually aggressive. We shockingly were able to sack Derek Carr, not once, but like 6 times. We were able to be aggressive on Devontae Adams, holding Devontae Adams to 1 reception for 3 yards.
Which is crazy, which, another thing in the Saints defense, the Raiders didn't pass the 50-yard line until the final 3 minutes of the game. Like, what?
Hey, it's weird to say. Also, NFL Films hates us because they only showed 9 minutes worth of our highlights, even though there was a lot to show.
And they cut 7 minutes out of the third quarter for some reason. I don't know what is up with the editor today, but he was just not on it.
Bizarre stuff. Moving on now to Steelers versus the Eagles. Eagles just bitch slapping their brother.
Easily, Eagles could have won this game by so many more points, but they rest their starters because basically they already won before the first half was even done with. Gosh.
I mean, Kenny Pickett missing throws, Najee Harris, whenever he is in open space, failing to do anything, and whenever he's not in open space, he's going 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The defense looked dreadful. It does not look like the defense that prepared for the Buccaneers. And honestly, this team seems to only prepare to beat shitty teams.
Because, my gosh, Eagles got 3 touchdowns in the first half alone from Hurts and A.J. Brown, and neither one of them were in the red zone.
And
It's
AJ Brown almost got another touchdown if he didn't get shoestring tackle at the end of the third quarter.
it's just Steelers. Like I said, this score should have been a lot worse. Steelers. I think this is it. Mike Tomlin's going to have his first losing season. I don't see a turnaround happening. A rookie quarterback with Kenny Pickett, who does look promising in some areas, but oh gosh.
He's a rookie quarterback. I'll give him a pass. If we see this stuff in year two, no, not so much. But speaking of year two quarterbacks that we definitely should be questioning, let's go to the Patriots beating Zach Wilson and the Jets 22-17. Both quarterbacks in this game. So Mac Jones
Things back to
has
normal.
Mac Jones has sort of regressed a little bit. It's hard to say. Zach Wilson has not improved at all from year one. He's making the same mistakes that he did in his rookie season. And honestly, if I'm the Jets, I'm rolling the dice and just saying maybe Zach Wilson isn't the guy that we thought he would be. Obviously, you want to wait till year three to confirm it, but I doubt there's going to be much improvement in his game.
Just put in Joe Flacco. I get Joe Flacco's past his prime, but he's a good game manager to manage his offense. He doesn't make crucial throws like Zach Wilson is.
Yeah, and he knows how to be clutch. It's just deep inside of his body, and if you care to even look there.
But do we really want to blame the Jets when there was a 4th-and-1 play and they decided let's throw it deep when you have Damian Harris, who is quite a decent running back, considering that, Hall is out.
Or Michael Carter, or Jonathan Robinson, who you picked up.
Yeah, but no, let's just throw it deep on 4th-and-1. Makes no sense.
Now, next game is my worst game of the week: Titans versus Texans, 17-10. Now, the score may indicate it's close. It wasn't. It was boring
as shit. But Derrick Henry's fun.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, fun guy. Moving on to Giants versus Seahawks. Seahawks won 27-13, but unlike the other score, this one's deceiving for a good reason. At 27-13, that really only opened up in the fourth quarter.
It just muffed punts. Really cost the Giants. The Giants would have gotten a touchdown with like 3 minutes left, but it just came down to great defense on both sides. There was great turnovers, many swats, from the cornerbacks and safeties. This was a great defensive game. It could have got game of the week out of me, but just 14-point game just doesn't look good for game of the week.
Yeah. Moving on to my game of the week. Commanders versus Colts. Commanders won 17-16. Wow. This was a defensive masterclass. Both defenses holding their ground. Bend, don't break. Sam Ehlinger for the Colts looked like he could do a lot of good, even though it's one start, and I'm not going to give him too much credit. He played good against a bad Commanders defense. He did what he needed to do. And Taylor Heineke, he did just enough to win, and that's all you can ask of him to do.
He has more game in drafts than Trevor.
So yeah. Well, that's sad to think about. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Colts had a chance to actually succeed in the comeback, but wide receiver dropped the ball, and it ended up pretty much costing them. And hey, Sam Ehlinger did not give up on that last play. He did not get sacked. He threw it to the guy trying to save the play, but that guy got tucked down.
He's got hearts. He did more than Willis, the guy who was playing for the Titans today, rookie.
That is true. Malik Willis, though, I also don't really blame Malik Willis. He had very few days to prepare.
Also, did you realize that the Titans and Texans game was Willis versus Mills?
Oh, no, I never realized
Willis
that.
versus Millis.
Willis versus Millis. Okay, but next game up is 49ers versus Rams, 31-14. A fun little, opening, right?
This game was fun because 49ers completely shut down the Rams after they got their second touchdown. Like, I swear, there was no Rams highlights after the second quarter. It was all 49ers. Like, they shut the Rams down.
It's called... so I read somewhere that the Rams seem to have little brother syndrome against the 49ers because McVay did learn a lot of that he knows from Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, whenever he was on the Redskins.
Clearly he didn't learn how to beat the 49ers.
Clearly, he did not. But CMC did great. Jimmy G did enough to win. Defense stepped up huge, especially in the second half. Nothing you can complain about.
CMC is starting to get adjusted to this offense now, which is pretty scary.
First player since 2005 to both run for a touchdown, throw a touchdown, and catch a touchdown in the same game.
Thanks, Rams. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Next up is Sunday Night Football's game, Bills versus Packers, 27-17. Man, the first half was fun. Gosh, the second half was boring as shit.
Oh, it was. And the thing is, you know why it was boring? Because we all knew Packers were not coming back. That's why Josh Allen basically threw two stupid throws because he knew deep down Packers aren't coming back because they're not a come from behind team. So literally, this game was done when it was 24-7.
Fun fact: the Packers are down to 4 healthy wide receivers now.
And they decided on the deadline to not try any. Way to go, Packers.
Well, they did try to get Claypool, but the Bears got him.
Didn't try hard enough.
Try hard enough. Next and finally, actually, is Monday Night Football. A snooze fest after the first quarter.
Worst game of the week. My goodness. Zach Taylor. What is this play calling? What is any of this, guys?
I think I already said it, but my worst game of the week is Titans and Texans. Not too sure if I did say it prior.
You did say it prior. This is my worst game of the week. It just comes down to the fact that, firstly, this game, it's not like an expectations to it, but I am really getting sick of shitty primetime games. Can we not anymore? Can we not? And here comes Eagles and Texans saying hello. I don't... Gosh, I look like an idiot. I didn't say it on the podcast. Maybe I did, but I said Chase went out, after the podcast was filmed last week. But I was saying this, and I'm going to speak for myself on this. I was saying, no, Bengals, they got this, okay? Just because Chase is out does not mean they're going to implode. What did they do? They fucking imploded without Chase.
I guess you could say Chase was not on the case.
Man, I hate Bengals so much.
I have nothing really to say on this at all. Fire Zach Taylor. Do it now. Implode.
Implode. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. But now let's move on to our players of the week, shall we? Let's start with quarterback of the week. I got Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay. I do as well.
Oh, nice. Jalen Hurts, 19 of 28, 285 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 140.6 passer rating, and 67.8% completion percentage. Man, he made some good throws.
Dude, yes, and all that was in the first half.
Wild to think. My running back of the week is Derrick Henry.
I mean, self-explanatory, man. King Henry. He's here. He finally made it. The first time Derrick Henry makes it to running back of the week.
Finally, he's back. He had 32 carries for 219 yards rushing, 6.8 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah, and I think wide receiver of the week is A.J. Brown.
Well, my wide receiver of the week is Tyreek Hill.
Oh, mine is A.J. Brown, but I'll let you explain yours first.
So Tyreek Hill, 12 receptions, 188 yards, receiving 15.7 yards per receptions, 0 touchdowns. Now, the 0 touchdowns might be a little bit of a what if factor, but you also understand Tyreek Hill, in my opinion, this is why Tua did not get quarterback of the week. Tyreek Hill was running all over the place, and he saved a lot of those passes. There was one pass, especially that was underthrown in double coverage, that Tyreek Hill came to, jumped up and grabbed, and I'm thinking, how did he do that?
The memes were supposed to make it to where he is incomplete, but Tyreek Hill's way too damn good. He catches them.
So, yeah.
Mine is A.J. Brown, 6 receptions, 156 yards receiving, 26.0 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, and all of this was in the first half. And if something just didn't go wrong, well, A.J. Brown would have a lot more yards and another touchdown. I'm sorry, I respect why Tyreek Hill's wide receiver of the week, but come on, this was all in the first half. He basically ended the game in the first half.
And and also 2 of those touchdowns, actually I think all 3 of his touchdowns were in double coverage.
They all were in double coverage, and he had to pretty much do some little trickery, and that's credit to Jalen Hurts and credit to A.J. Brown. What a lethal duo.
Oh yeah, and as I put in my notes I didn't mention here, but Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are what people think Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are.
No, it's DeAndre Hopkins carrying Kyler Murray. This is the best of both worlds here.
Oh yeah, also Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Ooh, man. Oh, boy.
Let's see now, my defensive player of the week is Sion Takitaki. He had 6 solo tackles, 7 assisted tackles, and 1 forced fumbles on Monday Night Football.
Mine is Tremaine Edmonds, 13 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, 0 sacks, and 0 INTs, but he helped his team get the win, so, that's player of the week worthy.
I think it's player of the week worthy too. Now let's go over to a little corner called Gold Corner for the rankings. Starting with college. All right, so here we have at number 25, Washington, back in it again. Hell yeah.
Woo!
24 Maryland, first time they're there. Also, Tua's brother, starting quarterback for Maryland.
Oh.
23 is Oregon State. They were unranked the previous week, and the previous ever since week 1. They're finally good enough to be on here, 6-2. They've done good for themselves. 22 Cincinnati. They fall down 9 slots after a depressing loss to UCF, and they're actually, speaking of UCF, they're number 21. Good for them.
Unranked.
20 is Kansas State, moving up a little bit after their embarrassing loss to TCU last week. 19 is NC State, moving up 5 slots. 18, Wake Forest, moving down 9 slots after a shocking blowout to Louisville. Who would have thought that? 17, Penn State, moving down 5 slots after blowing it against Ohio State.
Well,
16, LSU. They even though they were on bye week, they're up by 5 by proxy. So many teams went down. 15, Illinois. I had to move them up 7 just because they have, an extra not loss that LSU does have. So we'll see how that goes. 14, North Carolina. They've done good for themselves. 13 moves up is Tulane. Bit shocking. 12 is Utah. Now, despite having 2 losses to their name, they are still in contention for the college football playoffs, in my opinion, solely because of who they've beaten. USC being one of those names. 11 is UCLA, up 4 after their depressing loss to Oregon last week. Number 10, Ole Miss, up 4 after another depressing loss to LSU. 9 is TCU, finally hitting the top 10, undefeated. 8 is USC. And then the top 7 mostly remains the same. 7, Oregon. 6, Alabama. 5 is Clemson going down 1 because number 4 is Tennessee going up 1 after they beat the crap out of Kentucky, who you notice ain't here. Number 3, Michigan. 2, Ohio State. And 1, Georgia. Now let's go to the top power rankings for the NFL. Number 32 is the Lions. Riverboat Dan can't do shit in the second half. 31, Jaguars. You choked. 30, Texans. Why? 29, Bears. Justin Fields, maybe improving. 28, Steelers. Kenny Pickett. You can't spell pick without Pickett. Wait, you can't spell Pickett. You can't spell Pickett without pick. Yeah. You can't spell Pickett apparently either. 27, Raiders. How did you lose to us? 26, Buccaneers. You suck. 25, Panthers. How did you lose to Atlanta, the choke kings? 24, Browns. 23, Broncos. Let's ride. 22, Colts. You were close.
Let's cry.
21, Saints. How did you beat the Raiders? 20, Arizona. That's fair for them. 19, Packers. I had them number 1 at this point.
Yeah, you look pretty dumb.
18, Rams. Matthew Stafford looks old as shit. 17, Falcons. Why? 16, Bengals. You blew it. 15, Jets. You also blew it, but not really. 14, Commanders. We have no expectations for you, and you're probably going to drop down by 10 in the following weeks to come. 13, Dolphins. Hey, you did good again. 12, Patriots. 11, 49ers. Hey, Run CMC seems to be doing pretty good, right? 10, Chargers. We'll see how long you last there. 9, Giants. Better than the Chargers. 8, Seahawks. Welcome to the club. 7, Ravens. Let's fly. 6, Cowboys.
Let's Jerry.
Wow. Why and how? Just how. 5, Titans. Also why and how, and also how and why, and just what? I'm fucking confused with the Titans.
Let's
4,
Henry.
The Chiefs. 3,
Minnesota!
2, Buffalo. You deserve that. And number 1, Philadelphia. They also deserve it too. And before we go into the topic, someone added me? Oh. That's weird.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay.
Just putting that there so you don't have to scroll.
Yeah, I don't scroll. Okay, but let's go into our topic of discussion. So let's look at the NFL teams from
last season.
The NFL playoff teams from last season and see how they're holding up this season. Let's start with the teams that are doing shittily. Let's go start from the NFC with Arizona.
Arizona, not surprised. How Arizona was playing in the second half of the season is basically how they're playing now. They're this is not shocking to me at all how shit they're playing.
They've carried the momentum of poor play into the Cliff Kingsbury, fourth season as head coach? He's been head coach for far too long.
Since 2019, surprisingly. I don't know how, but he somehow made it to 4 years. I don't know how.
Wow. I mean, it's the same problems that always have occurred. They have almost no identity on defense outside of J.J. Watt. Their offense is solely based on DeAndre Hopkins catching Kyler Murray's passes, even though they have Zach Ertz and now Robbie Anderson there. And oh yeah, they have talent on offense to catch their passes. It's just he's not throwing there. And before Robbie Anderson, before Marquise Brown got injured, there was Marquise Brown.
I say Zach Ertz is more impressive considering he got the Super Bowl winning catch for the Eagles. Like, that's... Why are you doing to him? That's...
Yeah.
Super Bowl winning tight end.
Also, let's not forget, I do not believe... I honestly believe Kyler Murray is one of the most overrated quarterbacks this season. He might improve. He might prove me wrong over time, but he is not worth the money that he got in the offseason by a lot. If that money should go to Lamar Jackson, that money should go to Jalen Hurts, not Kyler Murray.
Yes, Jalen Hurts. That's a perfect example. Lamar, by this point, we know, but Jalen Hurts is somebody that always got underestimated, comparing him to, like, Kyler and all that. But look at it, Jalen, man. As you put in your notes, he uses everybody. Yes, he goes to A.J. Brown, but he uses everybody on the offense. So everybody looks good.
And Devontae Smith gets catches. Dallas Goedert gets catches. And Miles Sanders catches passes out of the backfield. He uses a variety of talent around him, similar to the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, before Carson Wentz started sucking.
So it's like, Kyler, it really... Is it kind of like Russell with the Broncos? Is it the guy that's in the center? I mean, I'm not saying that Cliff is not at fault. Trust me, he's a lot at fault. But some of these losses got to be on Kyler. They have to be.
I mean, if he can't make the passes, because his issue is he's of the mindset of I'm going to throw it to my talent, and they're going to catch it. Similar to how Burrow sort of is. But whenever Jamar Chase is on the field, he just throws it up in the air, and you wonder,
someone's going to catch it.
But no, like if it succeeds and you're thinking, wow, that was an amazing throw. If it fails, you're thinking, wow, why did he make that throw?
And that's what fucking Kyler does, 50-50 with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, but the Cardinals, I mean, did we really expect them to make the playoffs this year? No, we didn't. But one team that we definitely expected to make the playoffs this year and are not in the playoff picture, the team that beat them in the wildcard round, the Rams.
Rams are 3-4. I don't know what's happened, but the team is just self-imploding. But honestly, should we be surprised? This is what happens for many years when you trade away all your draft picks. You pretty much play the lottery, lose everything pretty much, pretty much screw up your cap space and all that. This is probably what happens when you don't use all your, your little accessories wisely. Because now Rams are fucked. If they keep going downhill, they're not recovering.
Well, I mean, we can actually figure out all the key pieces missing. So first off, the secondary is mostly good, but without Jalen Ramsey there, who else can you name on the secondary that's consistent?
Matthew Stafford.
Yes, that helps too. But the middle linebacking core is old. The only person on the defensive line that's getting even remotely attention is Aaron Donald, and that's because he keeps on getting triple teamed, allowing other people to make sacks. And that's why I think Aaron Donald honestly should probably be Defensive Player of the Year again, solely because he doesn't make it onto this list, but the dude still somehow has stats despite being triple teamed. That's greatness.
That says a lot. And if he's not getting stats, well, the motherfucker's getting triple teamed. Can't blame him.
True. So he's just an amazing talent. On offense, Cooper Kupp being a safety valve is flawed. I mean, we saw that with what happened with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. Whenever Michael Thomas got hurt, who did Drew Brees throw to? Michael Thomas still isn't fucking there. He's been injured for almost 3 consecutive years now. And we're seeing the quarterbacks don't have any safety valves. Thank Christ we drafted Chris Olave, though. And also Alvin Kamara is still there. But, Cooper Kupp, but you also let Robert Woods go, and I guess he is getting a bit up there in age, I suppose. But
come on, he's really reliable.
Odell didn't come back, and I understand why Odell didn't come back. To this team, hell, Odell's talking about joining the Bills, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. He wants to go to a winning team. He wants to go to a team that can guarantee him a second ring, and I respect that to some extent. But if Cooper Kupp's injured, you have who was the guy that was on the Bears and most recent Allen Robinson. He's there. He's talented. Why is he not getting the passes that he needs? It just makes no sense to me. And also, this is key here. staggeringly bad O-line. It just completely deteriorated after Andrew Whitworth retired. And Matthew Stafford looks his age. Last year, he looked more like Mahomes, and actually he looked like Matthew Stafford. Mahomes looked like prime Matthew Stafford, minus the flair. Matthew Stafford's making the passes, but he didn't have the flair that Mahomes had or has.
Matthew Stafford did kind of collapse in the second half of 2021. That kind of did carry over into the playoffs a bit.
But I guess you could say in the playoffs, the defense stepped up with Von Miller, and also letting him go. You're seeing is bad. They also tried to trade for Brian Burns, but Carolina.
The Bills, y'all, and he's doing great still.
And I guess you can say Von Miller's also aging. Clearly, he fucking isn't.
No, Von Miller is still playing at a top level at 11 years later. I don't know how, but he is.
Him and Donald honestly have to go up for Defense Player of the Year, both of them.
But tie him, Cody. They did MVP before.
True. But that's all the problems with the Rams. Now moving on to, I guess, the two top teams from the NFC last year. Let's start with the Buccaneers, as they were number 2 on that last year. What is right with them is more of the question, because even though you have literally, the Buccaneers have a different issue than the Rams do, where the Rams let talent walk to free agency and they don't have any draft picks for the future. The Buccaneers kept everyone and
injured.
Going against them. I mean, you can't really blame injuries. Everyone's fucking injured at this point. Hell, even healthy teams have shitty offensive lines.
It's the defense. It's like there's just nothing is working with the Buccaneers. But to be fair, they quickly got up to success, way too quickly. So maybe this downfall is more of
temporary.
Yeah.
But also, you can sort of defend the secondary. They're all injured to shit. The linebackers are still good, but they just keep on getting run over by the offensive line. By any offensive line. There's no real pass rush most of the time. So that's the issue with the defense. On offense, O-line doesn't block. Mike Evans and Godwin are becoming mainly Mike Evans, becoming shockingly unreliable. They can't get any separation whatsoever. And it makes you think, how important was Rob Gronkowski to this offense?
Which is crazy to think. Get him out of retirement again?
I mean, I don't really see how they could. If I'm Gronkowski and I want another ring on my resume, I would not come back to this.
Go to Bills.
Yeah, go to Buffalo. But no, there's nothing really great to talk about. Tom Brady, obviously, his own personal issues are his own personal issues, but I think something that's very key here is that he just sucks. Even though his stats don't say it, the play and the care, it's not there. And now I'm
2014 Peyton. He's still going to lead a game because he's Tom fucking Brady, but it's not Tom Brady. Still is, but not prime Brady.
Yeah, and I guess we could say it's the same issue with Aaron Rodgers. The only difference is he's not yelling at his teammates like Tom Brady is.
Well, we'll get to Aaron Rodgers when we talk about Packers, because that's comical to talk about, actually.
Yeah. But, I mean, Leonard Fournette is just not moving the ball at all. In fact, with all these playoff teams that are not doing successful, you can always run back to the fact they have no run game. Cardinals, no run game outside of Kyler Murray. Rams, no run game in general. Cam Akers doesn't want to be there, and yet you didn't trade him away. Buccaneers
can be good.
Buccaneers, Leonard Fournette, who can also be good, who we've seen be good, getting 1, maybe 2 yards per carry and 10 attempts per game.
I mean, let's be fair. This year is just a shitty year for running backs, unfortunately.
Shame. And I mean, maybe just letting Ronald Jones go to the Chiefs, who he's no longer on the Chiefs anymore, I think. I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe that was an issue, because you need a good running back tandem. You need the power and you need the lightning. That's what the Saints are trying to recreate with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. The issue is Mark Ingram's out of his prime and AK's in his prime, and you need someone in his prime to match that.
Oh, yeah.
At least AK is about to break the Saints record for most touchdowns in a Saints career. So,
and that will be, if he breaks it this Sunday, that would be one of the topics for next podcast, or just the title.
Actually, it's Monday. We face the Ravens.
Oh, Monday. Well, you know what I mean. After Monday, we'll improvise that in. Though the other number 2 team on the AFC side, perfectly fine. Chiefs, letting Hill walk basically made him better.
Pretty much. And actually, let's go to the Packers on the more comical side that we both kind of find hilarious.
Rodgers embracing the chaos.
He was seen smiling and joking around with his teammates. Like, people are upset at him. Dude, he can't control anything on defense. He can't control the coaching. He can't control the regression of players. The fact that all of his wide receivers, outside of Randall Cobb and Romeo Doubs, suck. I mean, this is why I respect Drew Brees better. Because if you're not a Saints fan, Millie, name one wide receiver outside before Michael Thomas, outside of Marquez Colston, who caught passes for Drew Brees.
That one guy.
Exactly. The only Pro Bowler who Drew Brees had prior to Michael Thomas was Jimmy Graham.
Damn it, that was the fucking guy I was thinking of. Shit! Fuck!
And that was... exactly. See what I mean?
I couldn't think of his name.
You can't even name him. He had. You want to know the last team that he was on?
It was the Packers?
It was the Bears, actually.
What? He was a Bear?
Yeah, he was on the Bears last season or 2 seasons ago.
Last season? What?
Yeah, he went from the Saints to the Seahawks to the Packers to the Bears. And you probably forget that he was on the Seahawks too, don't you?
No, I don't, because Russell Wilson actually utilized him when he was actually good.
Exactly. No, that I mean,
oh god.
Here's as a Saints fan, I can name some of them: Devery Henderson, Lance Moore, Kenny Stills. Yeah, Kenny Stills. Remember he was saying. Brandon Cooks. He was also on the Saints.
There's also that one guy who was in the 49ers. I forgot what his name was.
The 49ers?
Sorry, Dolphins. He was a Dolphins player. He was been playing since...
That was Kenny Stills.
Oh, that's Kenny Stills? Oh, I thought it was somebody else. Okay, good.
See? It's funny how that stuff works. But this, Aaron Rodgers has Romeo Doubs, Randall Cobb, and I can't name anyone else.
Yeah, Randall Cobb's hurt.
Is Alan Lazard still on the Packers or no?
No idea. I'm starting to think that Aaron, he's most likely retiring after this season. That's probably why he's laughing. He's just having a good time. I mean,
shit. He he knows that his window is gone, and he's just enjoying the ride. That I respect. But two
quarterbacks that are imploding. One quarterback that's having a good time with it. The other quarterback that's trying to save it.
You both love and hate to see it for different reasons.
I love Aaron's. I love Aaron's to death. I can't stop. It's just he's
so chill. He's so passive. He's probably high half the time. Let's be honest.
Bear's the coolest guy to be with as a teammate. Who would have thought?
Okay. So many problems on defense, but we're not going to get into that. Let's go to the Steelers next, who were bad last season and just made the playoffs. I forgot they made the playoffs.
It's because Ben has good leadership. Surprisingly, even though he plays shitty, and now this is not surprising whatsoever. No one's surprised by this.
The defense without T.J. Watt has crumbled into oblivion.
Kenny
Pickett clearly, needs some help on offense, and trading away one of his weapons doesn't help.
Or Matt Canada being his offensive coordinator is not helping either.
Fire Matt Canada, Mike. If you want your job, fire Matt.
His job shouldn't be fucking threatened. Honestly.
Yeah, there's not really much to say on the Steelers. Their issues are pretty simple.
Yeah. And also, wait. You're the next team.
Next up is the Raiders, and this is an issue that is all based on coaching. They have they actually added talent on wide receiver with Davante Adams.
Who's doing fantastic.
Kept some of the same defensive core, which might be a bit of a question mark, but considering that their front seven actually gets pressure on the quarterback, it's not really much of an issue at all. Their secondary still sucks. But you went to the playoffs with that. The issue is Josh McDaniels, clear as day. He may not be an abusive bitch like he was with the Broncos, but he still sucks.
Why did you not stick with Basashi, huh? Why did you not stick with him? He was interim. interim coaches aren't expected to win, and he brought him to the playoffs. But no, you decided to go from John Gruden to Josh McDaniels, thinking that's gonna solve all your problems.
I mean, you don't want to fire. It's almost the point where you don't want to fire Josh McDaniels this early because then you're screwing Derek Carr.
I mean, I feel so bad for Derek Carr. He's never gonna get the respect he deserves because of shitty coaching. Never.
And you hate to see it.
I mean, do I really hate to see it though?
Well, okay, well, maybe not you, but I do because I actually like Derek Carr. Now moving on to the. I mean, that's really the only bad team on the AFC side. Everyone else is just sort of either average or good, really.
Bills improved a fucking lot from last season.
So did the Eagles, and I'm impressed with them.
The Eagles are only 2 wins away. Well, let's make this 1. I mean, come on, they're not losing to the Texans. They're basically 1 win away from tying last season's record. I mean,
yeah, and watch them lose to the Texans.
Yeah, watch them lose to the fucking Texans. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, the Astros play the Phillies on that same night.
So it's honestly, some of these teams do look to return. Titans, God, they're basically playing like last season, guys. Okay, they're not the 5 and 2. They're basically playing like last season. The number 1 seed.
I mean, the Chiefs are playing similar to last season too.
They are. It's just Titans. They would have got number 1 seed if they just didn't lose to Titans. Simple as that.
Bengals are playing slightly worse, but also blame that on coaching.
Yes, and the 49ers are playing like the 10-7 record. Honestly, they started off slow last season, so they might be doing it again this season. So, yeah.
And they actually have a chance to win the division. Wow.
That's a list Gino Smith has something to say about that.
Gino Goat. Okay, but now let's move on to our predictions.
Predictions. Thursday Night Football. God, it's been a curse by this point for time games. We kick off with Eagles versus Texans, and I do not want to bite.
Eagles.
Eagles. We say this, and what happens? Huh? What fucking happens?
I picked the Ravens last week. I'm pretty sure I'm undefeated in Thursday Night Football games.
We'll have to fucking check that, pal. But yeah, it's Eagles. I mean, it's scary, but we say this. We say this. Next, we have the Colts versus the Patriots, and I'm gonna pick the Patriots. Maybe I'm just deceived by them beating a Jets team that has a shitty Zach Wilson, but I don't know. Colts really blew that game last week. I don't know. It's just Bill Belichick's better at coaching than Frank Wright.
That's also what I based it on as well, but also at the same time, do we really think the Bears head coach is better than Bill Belichick? I don't know. I still don't know the fucking Bears head coach name. I shit you not. I've never seen his name pop up on my TV.
The Bears head coach?
Yeah, the Bears head coach.
But this is the Colts.
I know, but I'm still confused. I'm still confused about that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know who the fuck the Bears head coach is. I seriously think it's fucking. I still think it's fucking.
I still think it's Matt Nagy too, and I think that's why they're not showing his name. But no, I picked the Patriots as well. I think Sam Ellinger will do good, but I mean he'll probably have a bad performance against a really good Patriots defense.
Yeah,
good luck.
Packers versus Lions. I don't. Gosh, as much as I would want to pick the Lions, Packers are not losing to the Lions. Even if Packers are at the worst right now, they're not losing to the Lions. But don't think this is the game where they turn everything around, because that's not happening either. For either one of these teams, actually.
I am so dearly hoping the Lions upset the Packers, but I'm going to pick the Packers to win. If I just want to see the Packers lose to the Lions just to see Tom Grossi's live reaction.
God. Ali, I feel so bad for Tom Grossi, the best Packers fan ever.
True. But I'm picking Green Bay.
Oh, God. I'm choking, because it's the choke bowl, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Chargers versus the Falcons. Oh, boy.
Choke Bowl 2022.
Who chokes worse? I say the Falcons. I picked the Chargers to win. Falcons should have choked last week. Chargers somehow have not choked a game this year. If they have, it's been one, but I like to forget it.
The funny thing is, I actually could not pick to win this game because this sort of was a battle of wills for me. It's the Chargers constant choking or the Falcons not going to over 500. And I decided to flip a coin. I decided to flip the coin. And it picks Atlanta to win. And so I'm picking Atlanta as well.
To be honest, it's probably going to end in a tie. Next, Bills versus Jets. And I don't expect any upset. Zach Wilson's quarterback. He has not beaten the Bills. Bills are...
it's not really a Bills revenge tour technically game because they own the Jets. And I think that's why the Bills are going to win.
Exactly. Next, Vikings versus Commanders. And Taylor Heineke, I believe in the Heineke. I think Commanders could upset the Vikings. I could believe it, especially at home. There's a part of me that thinks the Commanders can do it. I believe they're gonna catch Vikings off guard. I said it last week with the Cardinals, but this is Heineke.
Left hand up. Who are we?
Commanders.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Next, Bengals versus Panthers versus Bengals. I picked the Bengals to win.
I picked the Bengals as well, but that's more just hopeful optimism.
Exactly, same here. Next, Raiders versus Jaguars. I picked the Jaguars. I know both teams have a 2-5 record, but Jaguars, all of their losses are by one possession. Raiders, God, I don't even know what to say by this point.
This game was confusing because initially I actually changed my pick 3 times because initially it was going to be like, okay, who's the better coach? Doug Peterson. But then it came up to, wait, if it comes down to a 1-possession game, who's going to win? Clearly the Raiders. And then it came down to the whole thought process of, well, I mean, really, let's be real with you. I think if Trevor Lawrence were to ever be clutch, it would be against Raiders. And then it came down to the fact of, no, that's dumb. He's never been clutch. Derek Carr is one of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time. I'm picking the Raiders. And so I stuck with the Raiders.
For me, the thing that's going to come down to me is that the fact that when a Raiders going to get a lead against the Jaguars. Jaguars can't score. Jaguars have kept close with teams. So, yeah, Raiders are not beating them. Watch me be fucking wrong. Next, Dolphins versus Bears. Dolphins. That's all.
Tua.
That's all. Next, Seahawks versus the Cardinals. And I think last week's Giants win is going to start a win streak for the Seahawks. I think Seahawks are going to walk into Arizona and pretty much bitch slap the hell out of Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, you asked for all this money. Look at Geno Smith over here, taking what he's got, and he's fucking winning, boys. He's winning.
They wrote him off, so he didn't write back, and that's why I'm picking the Seahawks.
Seahawks are going to win, baby. And surprisingly, there's only 2 4:00 games this week. Good, because this week's was a bit rough.
Hell
of a sell. Next, the game that's really hard to pick, Rams versus Buccaneers. Who is the least incompetent team out of the 2? I think it's the Rams. Why? Because, well, Matt Stafford, he's showing at least some flashes of being Matthew of old, I think. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest with you, man. I don't care about this game.
I'm picking the Rams because chaos. Also, if Tom Brady's ever been 2 games below 500 in his entire career, he's also never been 3 games below 500 in his entire career either.
Next, Sunday Night Football. Titans versus Chiefs. Yeah, Titans are about to get really fucking exposed in Arrowhead. I picked the Chiefs. They're going to get blown the fuck out. Hate to say it, but
I too picked the Chiefs.
Next, Monday Night Football. Ravens versus the Saints. Saints, I'm still not picking you. Ravens for the win.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm picking the Ravens too. Lamar Jackson. I'm hopeful that we can stop them, but betting odds with the new additions of what? Who it was Roquan Smith is on the Ravens.
Yeah. He's gonna.
With the new additions of Roquan Smith and also Deshaun Watson. What the fuck? Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson is supposed to be eligible to play this week. That will give Lamar a target to throw to again. I don't know how the Saints could possibly win this unless they do what they did to the Raiders and just sack Lamar. The difference between Lamar and Derek Carr is Lamar can run and
Lamar
also
has a good coach.
Yeah, he has a good coach.
It literally just comes down to coaching. Ravens actually have good coaching. They're not losing. Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
You don't got it, man. Man, that's it for the predictions. That's it for the predictions. Bye bye.